Gohan and Piccolo finally engage in a one-on-one training session as Gohan finally takes center stage as he prepares for the upcoming Tournament of Power, as Gohan is taken under Piccolo's wing in training to become better than how he was before and having Gohan become great, as well as Piccolo having to reshape Gohan and having him become the strongest he can possibly be. We dive into a one-on-one training session as both Piccolo and Gohan engage in max power. What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 88 breakdown review entitled Gohan and Piccolo Teacher and Pupil Clash in Max Training, leading into Dragon Ball Super's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super episode 89, in which case we do have an episode preview which we will talk about live on the live stream. Now, this episode solidified Gohan's relevancy in seeing everything he did, in which we finally have a chance to see what Gohan was able to do against the likes of Piccolo, his original trainer in Dragon Ball Z. And the episode, of course, ended off on a very interesting note. So a quick plug before we begin: in case you guys are not following me at Twitter, be sure to go ahead and head over to UnrealEntGaming on Twitter and hit that follow button. That way you guys are always in the loop with all the latest in Dragon Ball news, information, and content. And don't forget to go ahead and subscribe to the channel in case you guys are new for all the latest in Dragon Ball reviews, discussions, mod battles, and more. Tons of awesome content on the channel. And if you guys want to go ahead and keep up with all the latest content, go ahead and turn on notifications if you guys want to become a Super Saiyan God. It greatly means a lot to me that you guys support the channel, and I thank you guys for tuning into the video. Now, Dragon Ball Super episode 88 gave us information as to who is going to be participating, a part of Cabba's team in Universe 6. Now, in case you guys were wondering about who this female Broly was, in case you guys were wondering about Girl Broly, the female Broly that we saw in the Dragon Ball Super intro was confirmed in this episode, and her name is Cauliflower, and she is the younger sister of one of Cabba's former squad leaders, in which case she will be participating. And I will say, to touch up on that, and in case you guys are going to be missing out on the live stream later on tonight, you guys might want to go ahead and join in. She looks absolutely amazing from the visual standpoint. To seeing how she sat on a throne eating a chunk of meat was just spectacular to witness. I do say, and I do think, in my opinion, that this Cauliflower female is going to be absolutely savage in terms of how she presents herself. Now, we don't know based on her attitude whether or not she's going to be a wild card, whether or not she's going to be a very calm person, but based on how we saw her with many people around her area, in which it looked like bodyguards, but not more or less just her sitting down eating this raw chunk of meat, and she looks to be a savage. A lot of you guys cannot wait. The hype behind Cauliflower is real. And of course, going back to looking at how Gohan did against Piccolo, Gohan was pushed to his very breaking point by Piccolo mentally, as Piccolo kept telling Gohan, even as they fought in their base form, as Gohan fought as a Super Saiyan and a Super Saiyan 2, Piccolo was able to keep up against all three forms, in which Piccolo, we saw how he reacted to Gohan not using his full power, in which Piccolo told Gohan, you're not tapping into your full potential, you have to go back to how you were when you fought Super Buu, in which during that time, he was not only physically ready, but he was also mentally prepared to fight such a person as Super Buu during that time. So right now, even though physically Gohan is ready, mentally he is not, in which Piccolo kept forcing that idea upon him and trying to tap deeper and go deeper into those emotions to further unlock the powers that were deep inside of him, that being his ultimate powers, and in which case he did that. In this episode, we saw the return of Mystic Gohan, aka Ultimate Gohan, as Gohan powered up, and we saw how the sky itself began to open up, and we saw the return of Ultimate Gohan as he battled Piccolo. Now, I do want to touch up on the episode preview. Now, in case some of you guys were wondering about this mysterious female that ends up showing up to Tien's dojo, in fact, that is not Cauliflower. It's not going to be her. It's a different female, and I don't think she's going to have a major role going further into this arc, but I do want to say that we see Tien, we see how he's manipulating and creating like these clones, and we even see like this beefed up, you know, massive version of what Master Roshi looks like. And Roshi, whether or not that's him or that's a clone, it looks absolutely amazing, and I think that my mindset has changed in Master Roshi having to be eliminated first, because we see how base form Goku begins to spar up against this Master Roshi-like character, and in which Master Roshi, he looks like, if you guys remember Xenoverse, it looks like his body has been taken over, resembling of what Mira and Toa did in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, not insinuating that it is, but it looks eerily similar to that, as we see this Master Roshi fighting against Goku, and we see multiple different copies of both Tien, Master Roshi, and we see how Goku's comparing up and fighting with them. So I do want to say that comparing this week's episode to next week's episode, I'm not really looking forward, you know, too much in seeing Roshi and Tien. They weren't really some of my favorites, so I do want to say that this episode, episode 88, in my opinion, was going to stand out more than next week's episode, although although next week's episode looks cool, I think that what happened in this episode today signified the importance of not just Gohan, but Piccolo as well, because we know based on the information provided that Gohan and Piccolo didn't really do much in Dragon Ball Super to begin with. They weren't really primary characters, they weren't the focus points. Even during Universe 6 versus Universe 7, Piccolo wasn't really the guy in being introduced to combat the likes of Frost and beating him, but I do want to say that the way Piccolo was fighting Gohan, you can clearly see that Piccolo has surpassed Super Saiyan Gohan, base form Gohan, and even with that, it's safe to say that Piccolo even rivals that of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, considering the fact that Piccolo kept telling Gohan, you have to dig deeper, you have to dive further into your emotions in order to discover that power, in which Gohan did. Now I do want to say there were certain sequences involving both Gohan and Piccolo where Piccolo wrapped his arms around Gohan, he began to choke him out, so you can't deny the strength level of Piccolo, because even against Super Saiyan Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, he still managed to momentarily choke him out, and Piccolo was using strategy in which he told Gohan, don't come into a fight with using brute force, but instead go into a battle mentally prepared instead of just going in there using brute force. And we saw Gohan struggle, we saw how Gohan was struggling mentally as the water was dripping down to his hand, we see him gripping onto his hand, and there were certain moments where Gohan kept powering up over and over and over again, but to no avail, because that didn't really do him justice until Piccolo told him, you have to be the way you were before, you have to tap into that ultimate power. And even with that, towards the end of the episode, Piccolo told Gohan, we're gonna get stronger, you're gonna get stronger, because we're not gonna stop here, in which Gohan suggests in using tag team moves in creating sort of like a combo set with Piccolo. And I do think that after they shook hands, these two are going to be some of the most important characters to be featured in the Tournament of Power because of their functionality. Now, something caught me as Kaba was talking to the former squad leader as he wanted to recruit him for the team, in which the squad leader told Kaba that he was no longer interested, nor can he actually participate because he doesn't have legs to function, his legs are all busted up, in which that's why Kaba was suggested to team up with Cauliflower, which is the female Broly, so she is going to be a part of this. But even Kaba himself feels as if Hit, the assassin from Universe number 6, isn't going to be capable of destroying 70 other fighters, which is why Kaba he went out there and he tried to find other people to recruit onto the team to see if he can pair himself up with other people that can essentially help him out, because again, Kaba doesn't feel as if his own team is ready to compete against 70 others, which is why he wanted to go and recruit other people to begin with. So I love the idea that Kaba was on a mission due to what Champa even was talking about, because Champa was the one that told Kaba, we need more Saiyans, more Saiyans, more Saiyans, more Saiyans, and that's what Kaba did. And instead of getting the squad leader because he's no longer functional, he got his younger sister instead. And then we go to Beerus, and Beerus and we still haven't told anybody about the universes having to be destroyed, but in fact Piccolo knows. Piccolo knows because Goku had told Piccolo about the entire thing, including the Zen exhibition match in which Goku had told Piccolo that Gohan did okay. So with that being said, Piccolo took that as disrespect, because Gohan, after having to be raised a certain way, after having to, have years of experience under training, has only done okay in a match. That wasn't good enough for Piccolo, in which Piccolo took Gohan under his wing, and the training will in fact continue. However, we don't know how long the training process is going to be, because the episode pretty much ended off with Gohan and Piccolo having to walk away on a mutual term, in which I do think that also, if you guys pay attention, we get to see a glimpse of the desperation upon Beerus's reactions to every little thing he does, because there was a certain sequence where we get to see Goten and Trunks changing Bra's diaper, and Vegeta was there, and Bulma was on the phone. Everyone's acting casual, and Beerus is very agitated because he doesn't want to reveal that yes, all the universes are going to be destroyed, in which I do think that either Beerus or Goku down the line, before this even starts, are going to reveal to everyone that yes, indeed, the universes are going to be at jeopardy, so if you lose, you're over and done with. Even with that, we see how 18 is sparring with Krillin, and it just goes to show how strong 18 is. Now, I do want to ask you all down in the comments if you guys feel that Android 18 is superior or inferior to her brother Android 17. I want to know down below if you guys believe that she could be on par with him, if not weaker and or stronger, because I want to know down below if you guys favor 18 or 17 for this one, because as we saw 18, she was sparring with Krillin, in which Krillin told her to take it easy, and she kicked his ass on down to the ground, in which Marin was there, so it was pretty cool to see at least Krillin and 18 doing something other than making love, and we saw how they were engaged in battle, and Krillin got knocked down, obviously enough. We saw, and there was this big thing going on a couple of weeks ago when he was able to hold back Goku's Kamehameha. Now we see something different, so I I personally enjoyed to see how 18 was functional with Krillin, to see how they engaged in some sort of activity where they battled, and even with that, the overall episode to me signified the importance of having to go into this battle mentally prepared, because Piccolo kept telling Gohan, if you continue to fight like this, you're going to lose. Because if you looked at the way Gohan fought, he kept coming at Piccolo in a very aggressive manner, and again, hashtag Piccolo made Gohan great again, because if it was not for Piccolo, I don't think Gohan would ever tap back into that power, because he told Gohan as they were fighting to go on ahead and go back into what made him so strong when he fought against Buu, mentally prepared, physically prepared, and even with that, when the whole sky cleared up, it was amazing to see. Now, Piccolo, in terms of being a strategist, you get to see firsthand as to how brilliant he is as a fighter, and I think after looking at how he fought against Gohan, Piccolo is going to do very, very well, in which I cannot wait to see Piccolo having to have his rematch with Frost, because that was something to where when Frost used his needle, it caught Piccolo off guard. But post your comments down below, guys. What are your overall thoughts on the next episode featuring Tien and of course Master Roshi, and seeing these holograms, these copies, whatever they may be appearing? What are they? I mean, we see like these stickers on their faces, so do these stickers actually make them stronger? I mean, apparently enough it does, but what are your overall thoughts on this episode? What are your overall thoughts on Gohan having to train with Piccolo? What are your overall thoughts on Piccolo having to tell Gohan to tap back into his inner power, to be mentally prepared going into this, and Gohan having to ask Piccolo and trying to come up with combos and tag team moves, in which I cannot wait to see, because if these two are going to be adding combos to their arsenal, they're going to be just as dangerous as the androids, if anything even more dangerous, because of Gohan's new power going back into that. And it was confirmed before that Gohan is going to remain in his ultimate form, except this time he's going to be the strongest he has ever been ever before. So post your comments down below, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you guys are fans of Dragon Ball, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all latest news, information, and updates. If you guys enjoyed the video, go on ahead and smash that like button. Tune back in for more. Again, I cannot wait to see how this episode is going to be structured next week, because for me, like I said before, I'm not really too sold on the idea of having Tien and Master Roshi in this tournament. I definitely would have preferred other people, and I'm not knocking their characters. I just personally would have preferred to see other characters be involved. I mean, even though as of right now we still have to see the development between Roshi and Tien, my question is anyone else going to find out about what Goku had done? Because it's ultimately Goku's fight. So now we have an understanding based on what we saw that the female Broly's name is indeed Cauliflower. She is not from universe number 11. In fact, she is confirmed to be from universe number 6. So in case you guys are curious on that, she is from universe number 6, and it doesn't look like she is on the Saiyan planet. It looks like that she's elsewhere. What she's doing, who she's with is unknown, and we also get to see the frustration come upon Beerus, as Whis even told him, would you really think it's a good idea to break the ice now, and letting everyone know about the tournament having to wager the universes? So we see the impatience of Beerus, we see the impatience of everyone growing. Goku wasn't featured in this episode at all, which I kind of enjoyed, because I wanted this to be a back and forth thing with Piccolo and Gohan, so we finally got to have that happen. Gohan is made great again, guys. Comment down below, post your comments on what you guys think, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Peace.